pananaw at opinyon ng pag-uulat ng mag-uulat sa programang ito ay hindi ang pangunahing posisyon o pahayag ng pamumunuan ng organisasyong ito. The views and opinions expressed in this live report are those of the presenter and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the management of this organization. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Inclusive Report. Today is Thursday, February 17, 2022. I am Carlos Miguel Kanahashi, and we are broadcasting simultaneously on InkluRadio Facebook page and to be uploaded on the next day on the Hands in Inclusion Philippines YouTube channel. We shall commence our presentation in just a moment, and we will be back after our commercials. Now this.
Para sa aking pamilya, para sa aking kapwa, at para sa bayan. Kahit mahirap, kahit masakit, mahal ko kayong lahat. Kahit anong mangyari, ikaw, ako, tayo. Ating isisigaw sa mundo. Inklusibong may tatak, angat buhay itatahak. Matapang pa rin tayo. Ang tropa, hindi nang iiwan. Ang senyas, isang instrumento. Ilang beses matumba, tayo'y huling baba. Luman ang ating pinagaling. Tayo ay muling liliwan. Para sa pangarap, para sa pamilya, at para sa bayan. Tayo ang ida. Tuloy ang inclusion.
Hello po, sir. Tayo na po ba?
Yes.
Okay po. Sandali po. Ano na po ako stream yard? Tayo po.
Okay. 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 Okay, go na tayo. Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. Welcome back to the Inclusive Report episode for this day. For this day, ladies and gentlemen, we will be discussing a mass media related topic, which is what we call as World Radio Day. When we say World Radio Day, what does this mean? Why do we need to celebrate World Radio Day? And how is this celebrated throughout the world? So without further ado, here now is our topic, World Radio Day. Next slide, please, Sir Mark. So what is World Radio Day? Well, first of all, this event, World Radio Day, is celebrated on February 13th of every year. Why? Because, ladies and gentlemen, it was set by the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, or UNESCO, way back in 2011. And the purpose of this is to proclaim the event at their 36th conference after it was put forward as an idea by Spain, or the Kingdom of Spain. So that's why, in layman's term, we celebrate World Radio Day. It's because we need to honor one of the world's oldest and widely consumed mediums of communication, which is radio. Next slide, please, Sir Mark. What is the essence of the event? The purpose of this is to raise greater awareness to everyone and to the media sectors of the importance of radio. This is done through the encouragement of all decision makers to establish and provide access to information through radio. This is done through improving networking and cooperation between broadcasters throughout the world. And according to UNESCO, radio is a strong and powerful medium in celebrating humanity in all its diversity, and it constitutes a platform for discourse throughout the world. Because in the age of countless online platforms, ladies and gentlemen, has remained the most robust and far-reaching medium of communication. So being the most widely consumed medium, radio is one of the most effective and trusting way of delivering information, and also this is crucial in emergency communication during the time of natural disasters. Next slide, please, Sir Mark. In World Radio Day, we involve evolution, innovation, and connection. In evolution, the world is always changing, ladies and gentlemen. So radio evolves along with it. It refers to resilience and sustainability of radio. In innovation, radio adapts and innovates. Radio has had to adapt to new technology to remain the go-to medium of mobility and is accessible to everyone wherever you are in the world. In connection, the world is always changing, so radio connects. This theme refers to our service in our society. Next slide, please. How is World Radio Day celebrated? World Radio Day is celebrated on February 13 every year and has been since the first World Radio Day in 2012. The reason we celebrate that is to commemorate the establishment of the United Nations radio station in 1946, which was created on February 13, 1946, a year after the United Nations organization was founded. To celebrate World Radio Day, radio stations throughout the world put on special shows or segments to celebrate the radio and its powerful meaning that it holds for many people throughout the world. In 2019, UNESCO shared held a special event in their headquarters, which is workshops involved that are being conducted. A temporary radio station is created especially for the occasion. This year, we encourage radio stations to celebrate the 10th anniversary of World Radio Day by UNESCO, as well as more than 110 years of radio. Next slide, please. So, I will give you some interesting facts about radio. Heinrich Hertz was the first person to prove that radio waves exist. Broadcast only occurs when a radio signal is sent to many receivers at once. The first radio messages were one way and were attempt to replace telegraph messages. And also, I would like to tell you a history of radio. Okay, so radio waves were first identified by Heinrich Hertz. And was studied by him. The first practical radio transmitters were developed by Guglielmo Marconi, and radio began to use commercially around 1900s. In radio, ladies and gentlemen, in the 19th century, the usage of the word radio has been developed in parallel with the developments within the field of communications. So, Heinrich Hertz discovered an important step in the process of radio development called the Hertzian waves. In 1894, Guglielmo Marconi began working on the idea of building long-distance radio wireless transmission systems. So he that's why radio was born as well. So the first radio station that was signed on was KDKA in Pittsburgh. It's the first radio station signed on November 2, 1920. That's why AM radio station at the time was Pittsburgh and in Detroit. And that's why the first vacuum tubes radio that was invented by John Fleming or John Ambrose Fleming. And then after this, in 1933, FM radio was patented by Edwin Armstrong. So, FM broadcasting in the US began in the 1930s. At the time, it was in the 40 plus point frequency. And then later, it was reallocated in 1945 to 88 to 106 or 88 to 108 in the Americas. In Europe, the medium wave was overcrowded. That's why in parts of Europe, medium wave frequencies are only done for speech broadcasting, and they were the first ones to adopt FM as well. In Australia, FM started in 1947, and it was shut down in 1961 to give way for television. And then later, in 1975, FM is back. But it developed steadily until the 80s, where many AM stations transferred to FM due to its superior sound quality and its operating costs are lower. Most other countries implemented FM broadcasting in the 1960s and also expanded through the 90s. In 2017, Norway became the first country to switch to digital audio broadcasting. And that's why the use of analog FM is banned in Norway. And also in the 1970s, ladies and gentlemen, they also had the wavelength change. On November 23rd, 1978, some countries in Africa, Europe, Asia, and the Americas have already switched, or rather, AM stations in Europe, Asia, the Pacific, and Africa have changed their AM frequencies to comply with the 9 kilohertz AM spacing to comply with the new International Wavelength Agreement in 1978 in Geneva, or what we call as the Geneva Frequency Plan of 1975. It took effect on November 23, 1978. It replaced the 1948 Copenhagen Plan. It's because Nine kilohertz AM spacing is what we're using. This is what we're used today, especially here in the Philippines. Radio stations in the Americas use the 10 kilohertz AM spacing, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, next slide please, Sir Mark. So, respecting basic standards of ethical journalism has become challenging in this digital age. To keep listeners' trust, journalism must continue to be based on verifiable information that is shared to everyone. And that's why we need to use this in order to build a better future and to help our civilized society. Next slide, please. Reaching out to a selected audience group should imply serving the informational needs of everyone, to be a catalyst for integration and social participation, including persons with disabilities. Radio platforms in the digital era provide grounds for innovation in the accessibility content for the latter. Through the use of sign languages and automated subtitles for the deaf viewers or the hearing impaired audience when streaming. So Sir Mark, question. Bakit mahalaga ang radyo sa ating lipunan? Why is radio important in our society here in the Philippines? Sir Mark. This will help us to entertain, to educate, and also to be informed of what's happening in the world today. Next slide, please, Sir Mark. Okay, we're now in the summary, please. Okay. To end our topic for this day, building on more than a century of its history, radio remains one of the most trusted and widely used media. Throughout the years, radio provided quick and affordable access to information in real time and to help us entertain, educate, and to inform everyone. Bridging between traditional and state-of-the-art technologies, radio now offers a variety of content through different devices and formats such as podcasts and multimedia website. Okay, so that's why on February 13, every year we celebrate World Radio Day because we need to make sure that radio is one of the most powerful medium, especially in provinces that don't have internet signals or television signals. Next slide, please. As we now conclude our topic, let us have our next part of our show, our updates related to the 2022 elections. So, PhilSCAP reiterates campaign songs should have the proper copyright license. Amid the heavy use of local and foreign songs in the electoral campaign, PhilSCAP, the Filipino Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers, remind candidates that the public use of copyrighted songs requires license from the agency and music creators. So, music played by presidential contenders include Posible, Dying Inside to Hold You, and Nais Ko in Isko Moreno's campaign. Umagang Kay Ganda and Ako Ay Pilipina in Bongbong Marcos Rally. Magkaisa, composed by Tito Soto, running mate of King Lacson. Kalodi, Yus Panggagawa Naman. Manny Pacquiao with Freddy Aguilar's Dugo at Pawis. Lenny Robredo supplemented her campaign with the use of Paraiso. But according to the PhilSCAP, the agency would like to remind those who are engaged in election campaign that the public playing of copyrighted songs during rallies or sorties requires a license of the copyright owner, as provided in the Intellectual Property Code of the Philippines. So in its statement, PhilSCAP should only announce that under the Intellectual Property Code of the Philippines, the use of playing of copyrighted music is considered public performance. And that's why we need to show respect, especially campaign jingles in the election. Mapa local man or mapa national man. That's why we need to avoid copyright strikes, especially when you upload it on YouTube. We need to respect copyright laws as well. Next slide, please. Let us have our next part of our show, Sino Ka? Know your candidates in the 2022 elections. So our featured candidate for this day is, next slide please, Mark Villar. He is running for senator in the 2022 elections. He attended International School Manila in Poblacion, Makati before he moved to the US. He studied in the US in Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania, wherein he earned his bachelor's degree in economics, political science, and philosophy. And he finished his master's in business administration in the University of Chicago's Booth School of Business. When he returned to the Philippines, he used to work 10 years in his family's business, which is real estate. He was the president of Crown Asia Corporation and before becoming the managing director of Vista Land and Lifescapes. He is a member of the House of Representatives representing Las Piñas. He is the former DPWH Secretary and the former Isolation SAR of the IATF. So, let's vote for Mark Villar for Senator in the May 2022 national elections. Vote wisely, ladies and gentlemen. Next slide, please. So now is our very important announcements. Next slide, please. First of all, this is also part of a great big help to us in our organization through our purchases in the HNI Inclusion Philippines online shop. The products that we are selling are the One Inclusion Nation t-shirts and the tote bags, plus the Talano gold colored One Inclusion Nation t-shirts. For the One Inclusion Nation t-shirts is available in red, black, blue, white, and yellow. All sizes were 275 pesos. For the Talano gold colored, sizes are ranged between small to XL and prices are ranged between 325 to 350 pesos. For our tote bags is available in white and black. Sizes are ranged between medium to large and prices are ranged between 150 to 200 pesos. So how can you do this? We have to pay first before purchase and we'll be very strict of this, to be honest. And we will accept your payments via GCash and we will deliver your ordered products via our two courier providers, GoGo Express and LBC. Next slide, please. Ladies and gentlemen, the HNI Inclusion Philippines online shop is temporarily closed for areas under Alert Level 5, but it will continue to serve in areas under Alert Level 1, 2, 4 only. Its operating hours are from 12 midnight to 11:59 in the evening. For a full list of orders, please visit the Hansen Inclusion Philippines Facebook page or email us at hansen.inclusion@gmail.com. Next slide, please. So, ladies and gentlemen, we at Hansen Inclusion Philippines needs your help. To be honest, many of us have been struggling with our financial problems in our organization. This will be part of a great big help to us here in our organization. So no matter what, regardless, it doesn't matter, really matter, ladies and gentlemen. If the amount is smaller or larger, this will please use this time to help HNI Inclusion Philippines by scanning in donate using GCash and this QR code that is flashed on your screen. Also, you will accept our donations through the Barya para sa Inclusion Fundraising Project. How can you do this, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, you may fill in a coin using any type of coin banks or alcanzas for the Barya para sa Inclusion Fundraising Project. And also, if you have done this, you may donate using Union Bank as well. And then also, aside from this, what are you waiting for? Please lang. Please continue to help HNI Inclusion Philippines for its fundraising project and also for your donations through GCash and Union Bank as well. Help HNI Inclusion Philippines for its fundraising project. We're aiming to raise funds in our organization. Let us have the time to rebuild in order for us to have a bigger, better, and a bolder HNI Inclusion Philippines. Proceeds from the sales in the online shop and for your donations will go to us here in HNI Inclusion Philippines. For its formality, for the expenses, as well as the financial aid of the members due to the effect of this trying time. So guys, for those who did this, you be graduated. And for those who did this, thank you for your continuous generosity and for your support to our organization. Next slide, please, Sir Mark. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, guys, if you have problems with your computer or your phones, regardless if it's a Windows, an Apple, an iPhone, Android, or your tablet as well, please message Sir Mark Betita on his Facebook name, Mark Paulo Betita, and Mark PC Laptop Repair Services. In addition to Facebook, you may also contact him at 0947-355-4759. It's 0947-355-4759. And he'll be happy to help you so that he can troubleshoot your computer or tablet or your cell phone as well. We will also accept downloading services for your movies or music as well. Next slide, please, Sir Mark. We have two remaining events coming up for the month of February in Best Buddies Philippines. On February 19 at 4 p.m., we'll be having rock painting with Bianca Maramba and Francine Campos. And February 26 at 4 p.m., ice cream social. If you want to join these events for February 19 and 26, follow Best Buddies Philippines on Facebook and Instagram. Send them a message and they will send you the registration form and the link as well. It will also be viewed on the Best Buddies Philippines Facebook page. In Best Buddies Philippines, make a friend, be a friend. Next slide, please. So we urge everyone to continue supporting for Project Sold Out. We'd like to thank Hiraya Gallery and Special Achievers and other partner organizations involved for making this event as well. If you want to check this out, please check Special Achievers Facebook page as well. Next slide, please. So if you're feeling hungry, especially for your breakfast, lunch, dinner, merienda, or any occasions, regardless if it's a birthday, Christmas party, or any event, then you just have the time for your chance to order in the Sobra Comfort Food Restaurant and the Kuya Korea Restaurant. For the Sobra Comfort Food Restaurant, our menus are for the all-day breakfast, tapa sobra, chicken tocino, corned beef brisket, homemade spam, and beef salpicao. Sizes are ranged between solo to large and prices are ranged between 265 pesos to 1,450 pesos. Next slide, please. Also, for our rice trays, we have beef bulgogi, beef shawarma, beef udon, pork broccoli, bits, pork belly burnt ends, charred chicken, and boneless fried chicken. Sizes are ranged between solo to large and prices are ranged between 265 pesos to 1,700 pesos. Next slide, please. Also, for our sandwiches, we have our fried chicken sandwiches, food pros sandwich, corned beef sandwich, and chicken tocino sandwich. Sizes are ranged between regular, large, solo, and box of course, and prices are ranged between 320 pesos to 1,540 pesos. Next slide, please. For our pasta, we have penne and gorgonzola and mac and cheese. Sizes are ranged between solo to large and prices are ranged between 290 pesos to 1,350 pesos. Next slide, please. So if you want to order in the Sobra Comfort Food Restaurant, here are the ways on how you can order. First, head over to the Sobra Comfort Food website, select the dishes you want to order, choose between pick up or delivery, pay conveniently for any of the same integrated payment methods, and your order is confirmed. Expect updates via text or email. Next slide, please. If you want to crave for something Korean, then you want to order some of the foods from the Kuya Korea restaurant. The menus are for the rice bowls, beef bibimbap, beef bulgogi, pork samgyup, and K-pop chicken. Prices are ranged between 195 to 220 pesos. And for the chicken, the boneless popcorn chicken, sizes are ranged between half to whole and prices are ranged between 235 to 435 pesos. For the flavors of gochu, ganjang, chicken, and Cape buffalo. If you want to order there, please check the Kuya Korea website for your orders as well. Next slide, please. Lastly, follow Hands in Inclusion Philippines on our social media pages and its digital platforms as well. It will be appreciated for you guys to do this as early as now. Follow us on Facebook, Hands in Inclusion PH, InkluRadyo, InkluSports, InkluNihan, and the online shop. Instagram, Hands in Inclusion PH, Kumu, HNI Philippines, our Twitter, HNI Pilipinas, and also subscribe to our Hands in Inclusion Philippines YouTube channel. And for those who did this, thank you very much. Next slide, please. Okay, so it's now time for our greetings and shout outs to Lady Jane Florese and Benjamin Molina. Good evening to you and thank you for watching. To those who are celebrating their birthdays today, happy birthday and expect the more birthdays to come. To those who are celebrating their anniversaries, happy anniversary as well. Shout outs and greetings to my family, to Hands in Inclusion Philippines, Best Buddies Philippines, Best Buddies Benilde, and other PWD organizations, and also to my high school and college friends. To those who are watching, it may be a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. I hope you guys are in a good mood. But if not, you may use this time to improve on your mental health and your well-being as well. To those who are watching me on InkluRadyo, thank you very much as well. If you missed this episode, it will be premiered on the next day on the HNI Inclusion Philippines YouTube channel. Next slide, please. Before we close our broadcast for this day, I would like to share with you a quote from Audrey Azoulay, the UNESCO Director General. We turn to radio more than to any other medium when we need to be informed. For example, in Europe, where fewer than 1 in 5 people consider social networks as a credible source of information, more than half of all people trust radio. This trust is all the more important under serious circumstances, as radio is the only medium which can reach so many households, especially in the remotest of areas. However, our trust in radio may be due to something even more profound, where images can be distorted or reproduced to the point of excess. Radio establishes a more direct, more intimate relationship between the speaker and the listener. Of course, this close relationship must be coupled with a guarantee of independence and rigor. Our organization sees to this by promoting reliable and quality information everywhere through support for press freedom and journalists. Okay. 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 All right. That's a wrap for our The Inclusive Report episode for this day, Thursday, February 17, 2022. I will be back again over the weekend for the One Inclusion Live weekend. Magpayo tayo ka-inclusion and our InkluRadyo special report. On behalf of InkluRadyo and Hands in Inclusion Philippines, I am your host, Carlos Miguel Kanahashi, and together with me is Sir Mark Betita for our technicals. May awa ang Diyos, makakaraos po tayo, sama-sama tayong lalaban para sa pangarap, pamilya at bayan, hanggang sa ating tatak para sa One Inclusion Nation. Muli, magandang gabi at pagpalain nawa tayo ng buong may kapal. May the Almighty God bless us all. Pilipinas, God first. HNI, God first. Thank you very much for watching the Inclusive Report. Have a blessed evening to all and bye for now. Bye-bye.